one new message.
So I just finished Armored Core 6, and oh my god. I just finished all 3 endings, and did I at first I thought I restarted the universe with like the Big Bang, but now that I'm thinking about it, it was a black hole. And you know the theory where a black hole is like apparently a portal to like a different universe or whatever. I think that's what was going on here. When we released all the coral, it created this black hole, and the coral apparently swept us away. And All Mind kept saying it as the coral release will happen, and you'll be on the other side. We went to the other side of the black hole. I think that's what happened here. And we died though. I 100%. We turned into coral because we died, and now we're in this random mech suit, and every other coral. And what is coral? I've been thinking about that throughout the entire game, and I think coral is like it's basically ghosts. It's literally ghosts. The leader of the Liberation Front of Rubicon, the Rubicon Liberation Front, the leader, Father Domayan, he is in the same boat as us, where a ghost is like connected to him. So Syria is also a coral that connected with Domayan. Sounds so weird. Domayan. And in that way, he's like us, right? Except we have air. And they're ghosts. Air says that she has no physical body, right? But she's a Rubiconian. She states that she is a Rubiconian, but she has no body. That's a ghost. She's a ghost. Coral are ghosts. The ghosts that can create the Big Bang, apparently, if you put enough of them in a compact area. And what's up with All Mind? All Mind is a robot, right? Who created All Mind then? All Mind is a mercenary system. It's a system. It's a machine that wants to help humanity, but not really though. It's an evil machine. So the evil machine creates. It's like putting consciousnesses into one body because it thinks that'll help further humanity, along with the coral release. All 3 of those endings, except for the good ending, still had me a little uneasy. Because it was like, oh, that thing is crash landing on Rubicon. And that's crazy though. But both the bad ending obviously didn't have me feeling right. Good ending didn't have me feeling right either though, because Walter and Carla are kind of innocent. I mean, Walter probably started the first fires of Ebis, but they're both good guys in a way. They think what they're doing is good, and if I'm being honest, yeah, it seems good. Seems really good. The ending the secret ending for Armored Core 6, the third one essentially. The ending is weird to me because if corals are ghosts, and corals are now free out and about and inside of machines, does that mean humanity? Because that was a black hole, right? That was a black hole. I feel like Rubicon is fucking dead. Rubicon is absolutely destroyed, right? And if Rubicon is destroyed, that would mean, how much of the universe was destroyed, right? The fires of Ebis apparently scorched the whole solar system, right? So did the black hole take out the whole solar system? Or was it just Rubicon? Or was it just us and the coral that entered through the black hole? Because the implications of the entire solar system or Rubicon entering the black hole means that this new dimension is just it's housed by ghosts. We're all ghosts. Raven, our main character, is 621 Raven. He has like 1,000 names, by the way. He called like Taurus, Gun 13, the worm, the worm killer. Oh my god, the wall climber. There's so many names for him. I was like almost keeping track of all of them. Every time a name was mentioned, I was keeping track. And if that's, but the implications of that means that it's a dimension housed by ghosts, right? Which is weird. Now, I'm an Armored Core fan. I've played Armored Core for Answer, and I loved it. I played Armored Core Last Raven, and I played Armored Core 4. I didn't play Armored Core 4 that much, because 4 Answer is just better. I'm just saying. And Last Raven, I played to completion, but that was so long ago. So all my knowledge before playing this Armored Core 6 was of Armored Core 4 Answer. I did play Armored Core 5, but Armored Core 5 wasn't really my style. I'm so glad they fixed that. Armored Core 6 is a return to form, and that is beautiful. By itself, that is beautiful and it's really perfect. Like, it's everything I ever wanted in an Armored Core game. A new Armored Core game, it's everything I've ever wanted. I don't think the game is missing anything. I mean, maybe building destruction. If you've played Armored Core 4 Answer, there's a lot of stuff you can break. When I was fighting All Mind, the final boss, a pillar did break. So I think there's some building destruction, but they could have went a little harder on it, I think, in my opinion. And there is collision, like if you were able to run over cars and stuff in this game. But like I said, they could have done more stuff with it, I think. G4, Gun 4, Iguazu. Why was Iguazu the one in the end? Like, we don't even meet Iguazu at the very beginning. We don't meet him until a couple missions later. We even meet him in Chapter 1? I think we do. But if we don't meet him in Chapter 1, it's kind of weird, right? Iguazu at the end of it and all. And All Mind is supposed to be all of the mines, right? So why didn't why was it just Iguazu at the end? Why wasn't it like Dolmayan and this guy and that guy, right? Like everyone we just killed, Huh. It's weird. That's really interesting. Something I feel like is missing from that ending, though, that secret ending, is Rusty and Uncle Flatwell. Uncle Flatwell is basically the second leader, like the second in command, right-hand man of Dalmayan in the Liberation Front. And we fight them in the game. We fight him and Rusty, V4 Rusty, and they eject out of their armored cores, and we don't see them for the rest of the game. And it's not as bad as it sounds, because we were late in the game at this point, right? So it's not like, it was like a bad plot point or something. But what gets me is that they don't return at all, right? Or maybe they did, and I didn't notice. For example, when we were fighting All Mind had like 4 armored like mechs next to it while we were fighting it, and it sounds like a bad fight, but they were not that really much of a hindrance, right? As long as you I think what I like about this game is that you can probably fight. In the game you fight 3. You can fight 3 armored cores at once. we could probably fight 4 at once too, and it would not be like impossible, right? When I was playing Armored Core 4 Answer, I don't think I ever beat that game because of the kill everyone ending of that game, and you have to fight 4 mechs, including your operator, which I thought was cool. Yeah, I think I did throughout the game. I was like, something's missing in this game, and I think it might be armored cores. They're lacking armored cores in the mission. Like, there's a few that you can fight, and then, you know, throughout the 3 ending routes, there's a whole bunch, right? And I think you fight a lot outside of just the missions. But I don't know. It feels like it was in the missions. It was just missing a lot of ACs, or maybe not even that. In Armored Core for Answer, was it really that much ACs? It's it's also been a while, but the ACs had personality too. These guys, oh my god, this game is full of personality. The voice acting isn't the best, right? Some voice actors go above and beyond. Others are at some points, while others are kind of flat at other points, right? But they carried through they carried through, and I cried and I teared up in all of the endings. Because that's just how crazy this game is. Who is Rusty? Who is Rusty? When we were playing that, when I was playing that intel mission where we gotta collect intel on Rusty, there was more intel to collect, which is interesting to me because I feel like maybe there's more to know about, and that would have, because Rusty is a complete mystery. He sounds like he knows us. He calls us by buddy, and he sounds like he knows us from before we even arrived to Rubicon. But he won't tell us anything. He's like, "Oh, hey, buddy," right? Well, one thing is he works for the bad guys, but he's actually a good guy, right? He's a double agent, and he actually does work for the people of Rubicon, and he works with you a lot, and you do have the chance of fighting him, like I said before, but you do fight him again in space. Oh my god. I don't know if people are familiar with Armored Core. I doubt it. I feel like I'm one of the few Armored Core fans who were fans before Armored Core 6, right? I'm not gatekeeping, I'm just saying that it's just a fact. It's just a fact, right? Rusty is weird though. He's just so weird, right? What is this guy? And if you look at his description in the arena, it says that he underwent surgery for augmented human surgery, that every Vesper, which is part of the Aquabus Corporation, every Vesper has to undergo a augmentation human surgery that makes them more able to operate in an Armored Core. We are 4th generation, and there's 1 through 10 generations, right? And in his description, Rusty says in his description, he went through the surgery, but he was kind of private about it, right? He said specifically, it's weird for the game to note it, that he specifically said that no one knows, in the description, no one knows which generation he is. But he says he's generation, I think 8. So he could be generation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't know. We don't, as far as I've played, we don't really know, right? And who is Walter? I mentioned Walter before, right? Walter's the scientist who started the Fire of Ibis, right? He was an Institute scientist, and he supposedly had another scientist with him who basically cleansed him of his sins. And now that I'm like saying that out loud, I think that's really interesting. So did Walter create Coral? Or was Coral always there? And if Coral was always there, Walter must be the one who essentially did something that made Coral expand, or the fact that Walter uses Coral, because there are Institute Coral machines, and maybe Walter made those machines, had a hand in making those machines, and those are his sins. If you do Carla's junkyard mission, the one where you have to stop the coyotes from getting her data, you can find a report kind of thing, like a diary from a scientist. And we learn about Walter. Walter is fairly young. Walter is the son of two scientist assistants. And Walter's parents died. Carla was the one that was brought in to make him smile, make him be happy, right? And that's interesting. I don't remember. I would have to reread the note. I'm surprised that the game doesn't have a, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't have some section where you can just read all these notes. You just have to read them as you find them. Ah, man, but that's what I think would have been nice. If it had an area in the menu where you could just read all of the stuff you've collected, like notes and lore-wise. Because that one's huge. He's the son of the assistants. I'm definitely missing a bunch of lore pieces here. I haven't collected all the combat logs. I haven't collected all the all the weapons and frame parts and inner parts. And I haven't got an S rank on every mission yet. I just beat the game like 20 minutes ago. But I wanted to rant about this because it's so... And this game is wild. This game is everything I hoped for as an Armored Core fan. And I did have a theory. It was a silly theory. But it was like... I mean, I guess I was kinda close to figuring it out. A little bit, but not too much. I had a theory that Uncle Flatwell was Rusty. No, they're two different people now. Well, I know this, but the reason I had this theory was because Rusty was kind of introduced as this odd character, right? And he was like similar to us in a lot of ways. One NPC called us strange bedfellows, right? So we were similar in many ways, and once again, it's just we have a weird connection. So who is Rusty, right? Such an interesting question. But no, he wasn't Flatwell. And once again, when we go back to that mission where you collect all the data from the wall, the climbing the wall mission, you realize as you go through the notes that he's quick, he's fast. I think that's like his main thing. He's fast. But also, furthermore, there's a brief conversation where the wall and enemies are like, "Hey, why are you doing this? Aren't you?" But then Rusty takes them out anyways, because Rusty, as we know, is the good guy, and they recognize Rusty, but Rusty had to keep undercover, and so he killed them. Air had brought up a very interesting thing from the game, or something about Carla, and this is a thing that kind of has you scratching your chin for Walter as well. It's like, The fire of Ibis happened a century ago. Not even like decades ago, a century ago. So how are Walter and Carla even alive? That has you questioning so much. How are they even alive? Are they using coral in some way? You know that Walter has an armored core that uses coral, utilizes it, so that makes sense for him. But what about Carla? She doesn't have anything. She doesn't have anything coral-like, as far as I've seen. Something interesting I found, or something interesting I noted, was like the meal plan, the meal plan of the Rubiconians. For example, mealworms is what is being fed to Rubiconians, especially the ones on the ground, like the people of like the Liberation Front. They eat mealworms to survive, right? They feed their children mealworms, right? They feed each other mealworms. That's what they eat. And the mealworms actually have incubation pods, underground incubation pods. So that's interesting to me. Well, not only that, but they have sludge, coffee flavored sludge. So not coffee flavored sludge. They have a bunch of sludge. And this is told to us by O'Keefe, who is a Vesper. He's all like, just go, do what you want to do what you got to do what you want to do. Eat your sludge, drink your sludge, coffee flavored sludge, and keep on living, right? And that's crazy to me. O'Keefe is also a weird one. He was with All Mind, and it is stated that that O'Keefe might, by Air's like, is O'Keefe also like, is O'Keefe also connected with Coral? There's no evidence of that, right? Like, he just doesn't say, "Oh, hey, John, hey John, check this out," right? So there's no evidence that there's that he's connected with the Coral somehow, but he was connected with All Mind and the Occubus corporation, right? He was like the in-between for both of them, which makes me think that maybe he was connected to the Coral in some way, and that's why All Mind had him. But how, right? And what? Why? Also, a previous theory I had, a lot earlier, was with Dalmayan. Because if you go through the secret, or if you go through the normal tunnel, it's not secret. If you go through the tunnel that just got blasted by Coral, and this is Air gives you this mission. She can't pay you, obviously, but she gives you this mission, and you basically have to retrieve data so that you can learn about the history of the Rubiconians and all that. I think there might be more data that I haven't seen there either, actually. So that's interesting to me. I should check that out at some point. But yeah. But while you're searching, you see the old mech of Dalmayan, and he has a log, like a personal diary log, where he basically says that he basically asked God, if I were in control, I would not let this happen. I would not let the atrocities of Rubicon happen. And then he forever was ashamed of it. Which is funny to me, because looking back at it, I think what he thought he was doing, or seeing, or talking to, was Coral. And he said, "Hey, Coral, if I had the reins, I wouldn't let this happen," right? And then he forever became ashamed. And it's interesting that it's kind of heading towards that religious front. Either way, whether it was Coral and he thought it was God, or it was just straight up God somehow. It's interesting because his name in the game is Father. Domain. His first name is Thumb, but it's Father. People call him Father Domain. Father Domain. That's a like, you know, like a priest. You say, hey Father, what's up, right? And the same goes here. You're like, Father Domain, right? So there's some religious stuff to it too. And you know, the fire of Evis. That's I mean, I don't know. If I were like religiously inclined, I could make some religious connection to the events of the game. But I can't, right? I'm not good. I'm not smart enough for that. Another interesting thing is, like, why was the Guazu also connected? Rusty and Guazu are weird. They're kind of connected to us in ways we don't get it. We don't really understand. Especially when a Guazu, he has headaches. That's apparently when Air speaks. When Air, our coral companion, speaks, a Guazu gets headaches. And that's when he's nearby. So what's up with, and he still gets headaches when he gets assimilated by All Mind, right? So what is up with that? Why does he get headaches when that happens? Is it because of the surgery? They were using coral technology for the surgery. So yes, 100%. That's why he gets headaches when Air is talking, because Air is coral. So that's why he gets headaches. That is fascinating. I just connected the dots. Oh, I think All Mind, actually. I did have a theory that All Mind was created by the Institute. They had access to coral stuff even before we started helping them, right? They had a few coral stuff, I believe. So I feel like they're the remnants of the Institute, which kind of, oh my god, they are. They actually are. Hold on. The first mission of the third ending route, you have to fight, or it's not the first mission, but it is the first mission of a decision, or the first mission that alters the course of your game. And you have to escort this mining machine, right? And you know who comes after you? Like, they destroy the mining machine instantly. And you know who comes after you? Institute machines. Powered by coral, obviously. And we learn later that those machines were after me, specifically after me, because I was a problem to All Mind's plans. All Mind had coral stuff. They had Institute stuff. 100%. They're the remnants of Institute scientists. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Such a good game. It deserves the best action game award that it got. It really did deserve it. And honestly, I don't know who the nominees were for like Game of the Year. It definitely could have been nominated for Game of the Year. I do have problems with it, like like writing wise, voice acting wise, and sound wise. I have problems with it. I mean, the sound is great. I really miss the Armored Core 4 answer sound they were using. That's just classic. You hear it, you feel like you're in a giant mech suit. But in my game, when I was playing the game, the sound was a bit weirdly unbalanced, unleveled. Like, you could barely hear the voices. The music wasn't too loud either, but it was overpowering the voices. And the sound effects were like the loudest thing of all. Holy moly. I had set it up so that, like, if you ever want to play Armored Core, set it up so that it's like voices are 7, sound effects are 5, and the rest is 10. I think that's the best way to put it, so that you can hear music and stuff. Oh, what about Kate? Oh my god. Hold on. Kate Markson. If there was any character in this game who was mysterious it would be Kate Markson. Well, first of all, her name is Kate Markson, right? Everyone has like code names or just first names. We get a full name, Kate Markson. I think the only time I've ever heard a full name in Armored Core was in For Answer, Maximilius Thermidor from Armored Core For Answer. And who is she? She works for the Institute. Well, we destroyed the Institute. Unless Kate Markson is All Mine in some weird way. But All Mine speaks as if she, and I'm gonna say she because All Mine has a female voice. All Mine speaks as if she is a robot, a machine, a system, right? And I'm pretty sure that she is. And All Mine, and All Mine even says something like, human systems can easily be destroyed because, they're, human chains or whatever. It was like something like that. Human command, something like that, but it was talking down on humans. Even though supposedly, and I knew they were lying. Supposedly, they're working for humanity. Oh my god. So who is Kate Markson? And that is a very good question. Kate Markson is not a machine. We know that Kate Markson isn't a machine. Well, I guess we don't know. I'm gonna assume she's not a machine, but she is someone with a connection to the Coral, to the Institute, right? What am I thinking? I'm thinking maybe she's the one pulling the strings of All Mind. Maybe she was just one of the early... Yeah, maybe she was just one of the early mercenaries the All Mind collected in order to do the Coral release thing. But isn't that odd though? Like, there's no way that's just it. That doesn't feel right. And this is coming from the game Armored Core 6, right? And that game is coming from Software, right? And From Software created Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Armored Core, right? And all of these games, they're full of lore. Every character has some sort of significance in the world. Kate Markson cannot just be some random mercenary. Rusty is not just some random Vesper who double agent, right? They have importance, but I can't figure it out right now. And like I said, maybe more secrets will be unlocked as I basically platinum the game